Hello dear students, I am Chetan Singadia from Dr. Subhash Technical Campus. You are watching the video lecture for the subject of Database and Management System. Today we are going to see the data abstraction and data independence in Database Management System. Let us see what are the topics that we are going to cover in this video lecture. In data abstraction, we are going to see internal level data abstraction, conceptual level data abstraction, and physical level data abstraction. The level, you can call it as a schema also. The another topic that we are going to cover, that is data independence. There are two types of data independence. One is a logical data independence and another one is a physical data independence. Now let us understand what is data abstraction. A data abstraction can be defined as the database system comprised of complex data structures. In order to make the system efficient in terms of retrieval of data and reducing the complexity in terms of usability of users, the developers use abstraction. For example, to hide the irrelevant details from the users, this approach simplifies the database design. So let me explain once again what is data abstraction. So in order to make the system efficient in terms of retrieval of data and reduce the complexity in terms of usability of users, developers, and use the abstraction. That means when you are going to hide the irrelevant details from the user, we need to simplify the database design. That is nothing but a data abstraction. There are mainly three levels of data abstraction. One is an internal level, another one is a conceptual level, and third one is an external level. The conceptual level, you can call it as a logical level, and external level, you can call it as a view level. Now let us see what is internal level. Actual physical storage structure and access path, that is nothing but you can call it as an internal level or internal schema. The conceptual level or a schema that can be defined as the structure and constraints for the entire database. What it is? The structure and constraint for the entire database, that is nothing but a conceptual level or a schema, or we can say logical level or a schema. And the third one is external level or a schema or a view level. When we are going to describe the various user views, that is nothing but an external level or a schema or a view level or a schema. So friends, this is what the brief description of data abstraction, in that we describe the internal level, conceptual level and external level schema for a data abstraction. Let us see each one in detail. When we are considering the data abstraction, you can call it as a three-tier architecture also. The three-tier architecture consists the internal level, conceptual level or external level. Here you can see in this figure, this internal level consists of database, this conceptual level consists of a server, and this external level have the client. That means here there is a user. So when we are talking about this three-tier architecture, or we can say database abstraction, that is internal level, conceptual level and external level, we have to consider these three parameters. At an internal level it is a database, and a conceptual level it resides a server, and at external level it resides the client, or you can say end user or a user. So this is what a typical figure of three-tier architecture. Now let us understand what is internal level schema or a physical level schema. The internal level schema defines the physical structure of the database. What is internal level? An internal level schema defines the physical storage structure of the database. This internal schema is a very low level representation of the entire database. What it is? It is a very low level representation of the entire database. It also contains the multiple occurrences of a multiple types of internal record. In the ANSI terms, it is also called a stored records. Now let us check the fact about internal level or internal schema. The internal level schema is the lowest level of data abstraction. This is one of the simple point. We can say it is a lowest level of data abstraction. It helps you to keep information about the actual representation of the entire database, like actual storage, or we can say physical storage of the data on the disk in the form of the records. The internal view tells us what data is stored in the database and how. What internal view tells us? What data is stored in the database and how. It never deals with the physical devices. Instead, internal schema views a physical device as a collection of physical pages. So friends, this is what an internal level or internal schema, or we can say physical level or a physical schema, or we can say it is internal level schema is the low level of the data abstraction, or you can say it is the one of the data abstraction, that is internal level schema. Now let us understand what is conceptual level or a conceptual schema. The conceptual schema describes the database structure of whole database for the community of the user. This schema hides the information about the physical storage structures and focuses on describing data types, entities, and relationships, etc. What is conceptual level? The conceptual schema or a conceptual level describes the database structure of the whole database for the community of the user. This schema hides the information about the physical storage structures and focuses on describing data types, entities, and relationships, etc. This logical level comes between the user level and physical storage view. However, there is only one single conceptual view of a single database. Now let us check the fact about conceptual level or a logical level or a logical schema. It defines all database entities, their attributes, and their relationship. It also provides the security and integrity information of it. In the conceptual level or a conceptual schema, the data available to the user must be contained in or derivable from the physical level. So friends, this is what a conceptual level or a conceptual schema, or we can say logical level or logical schema of the data abstraction. Now let us understand what is external level or external schema, or we can say view level or a view schema. An external schema describes the part of the database which specific user is interested in it. It hides the unrelated details of the database from the user. There may be an n number of external views for each database. So what is external level? Let me explain once again. An external level schema describes the part of database which specific user is interested in it. It hides the unrelated details of the database from the user. There may be an n number of external views for each database. So this is what an external level or external schema. Each external view is defined using external schema. Each external view is defined using an external schema, which consists of definition of various types of external record of that specific views. An external view is just a content of the database as it is seen by some specific particular user. For example, a user from the sales department will only see the sales related data. So this is what an external level schema, or we can say view level or a view schema of the data abstraction. Now let us see the example of data abstraction of university database at different levels. Consider an example of university database at different level. This is how the implementation will look like. So here you can see in this presentation there is a types of schema are given here. There is a view level schema, conceptual schema, and physical schema. There is a view schema, you can call it as a view level also, conceptual level, and physical level also, that we already studied in our previous presentation. And here we have an implementation in front of each implementation in front of each schema. For example, if you are talking about the view schema or external schema, so what it should be there in terms of software things. So let me consider here two view operations are there, view 1 and view 2. So view, what is view 1 is consist? It consists of course information of course ID of type integer and course name of type string. So at the external schema, these two information is including in a course info. What is that? That is course ID and course name. The course ID data type is integer and course name data type is string. And another view level is student info. It includes the ID of type integer and name of type string. So at a view level, there is a two information is representing here, that is ID and name. Here ID will represent an integer and name will represent a string data type. So this is how will look like the external schema at the different level of university database. Now let me explain what is conceptual schema in terms of example. If you are talking about the conceptual schema or a conceptual level, here we are considering three things: students, courses and enrolled. If we are considering this conceptual schema, the student will consist ID of type integer, name of type string, login of type string and age is type of integer data type. So here there are these many fields are there: ID, name, login, age in the student schema. We have another schema, that is courses. It will consist of ID of type integer, course name of type string and credits of type integer. Another schema, conceptual schema we have, that is enrolled, and it consists of two things. One is the ID of type integer and grade of type string. So at the university database, if you are talking about the conceptual schema, this is how the conceptual schema we are going to describe in the form of students, courses and enrolled. Now let me explain what is physical schema. Now if you are talking about the physical schema or a physical level, the relations are stored as a unordered files. The relations or we can say tables are stored as unordered files, indexed on a first column of the students. So this is how this physical schema will describe in a university level a database of a data abstraction. Now let me revise once again. Here we have seen the example of university database at different levels. In that we describe the example or implementation of view level schema, or we can say external level schema, conceptual schema and a conceptual level, physical schema or a physical level. This is how this implementation will look like in the form of different levels of data abstraction. Now let me explain the advantages of database schema. Here we are talking about the advantages of database schema, or we can say the advantages of database abstraction or data abstraction. The first advantage is you can manage data independent of the physical storage. What is that? You can manage the data independent of the physical storage. Faster migration of new graphical environments. DBMS architecture allows you to make changes on the representation level without affecting the other two layers. This is most important advantage of database schema, or you can say data abstraction. What is that? A DBMS architecture allows you to make changes on the representation level without affecting the other two layers. As each tier is separate, so it is possible to use different set of developers. It is more secure as the client does not have direct access to the database business logic. This is one of the most important advantage of database schema. In case of failure of the one tier, no data loss, as you are always secure by accessing the other tier. So friends, these are the advantages of database schema, or you can say advantages of data abstraction. Now after understanding the advantages of database schema, let us see what are the disadvantages of database schema are there. The first disadvantage is complete database schema is a complex structure which is difficult to understand for everyone. What it is? Complex database schema is a complex structure which is difficult to understand for everyone. It is difficult to set up and maintain. So, or we can say a maintenance is very difficult while we are using this kind of database schema. The physical separation of the tiers can affect the performance of the database. So, when we are separating in terms of physical things, the tiers can affect the performance of database, and ultimately it will affect the performance of application also. So friends, these are the disadvantages of database schema. Now let us summarize the database schema or a data abstraction. There are mainly three levels of data abstraction, or we can say three-tier architecture also. Internal level or internal schema, conceptual level or a conceptual schema, or we can say logical level or a logical schema. The another one is a actional level or a view level. So these are the three main levels of the data abstraction. The internal schema defines the physical structure of the database. What it is? The internal schema defines the physical structure of the database. The conceptual schema describes the database structure of the whole database for the community of the users. At external schema, it describes the part of the database which specific user is interested in it. Whereas a DBMS architecture allows you to make changes on the presentation level without affecting the other two layers. So friends, this is what the small summary of data abstraction, or we can say database schema at different levels. I hope you understand these three levels of data abstraction at internal level, conceptual level and actional level. The another topic that we are going to cover in this video lecture, that is data independence. So before starting with this data independence, we would like to see the purpose of data independence, or we can say why we need a data independence. The main purpose of data abstraction is achieving the data independence. What is that? The main purpose of data abstraction is achieving data independence. So when we want to achieve a data independence, we need to use the data abstraction in order to save the time and cost required when the database is modified or altered. We have namely two levels of data independence arising from these levels of abstraction, or we can say we have mainly two types of data independence. One is a physical level data independence, another one is a logical level data independence. Now let us see what is data independence. The data independence is defined as a property of DBMS that helps you to change the database schema at one level of the database system without requiring to change the schema at the next higher level. This is what and data independence. Let me explain once again. What is this data independence? The data independence is defined as a property of DBMS that helps you to change the database schema at one level of the database system without requiring to change the schema at the next higher level. So this is what a data independence. The data independence helps you to keep the data separated from all the programs that make use of it. You can use this stored data for computing and presentation. What it is? You can use this stored data for computing and presentation. In many systems, the data independence is an essential function for the component of the system. So friends, this is what and simple definition of data independence. Now let me explain physical data independence first. The physical data independence helps you to separate the conceptual levels from the internal levels or physical levels. It allows you to provide a logical description of the database without the need to specify the physical structure. It compared to the logical independence, it is easy to achieve physical data independence. So what is physical data independence? Would like to once again I would like to explain. The physical data independence helps you to separate conceptual level from the internal levels. It also allows you to provide a logical description of the database without the need of specify the physical structure. So when you are not going to specify the physical structure, or you are not specifying the physical structure of the database, it will allow the logical description of the database. This is called physical data independence actually. When you are compared to the logical independence, it is easy to achieve physical data independence. So when we are talking about this, both the things, logical data independence and physical data independence, it is more easy to achieve physical data independence as compared to logical independence or a logical data independence. With the physical data independence, you can easily change the physical structure or a device with effect of the conceptual schema. With the physical data independence, you can easily change the physical structure or a device with an effect of the conceptual schema. Any change done would be absorbed by the mapping between conceptual and internal level. The physical data independence is achieved by the presence of the internal level of the database. What it is? The physical data independence is achieved by the presence of the internal level of the database. Then the transformation from the conceptual level of the database to the internal level. So friends, this is what the physical data independence to achieving a data abstraction. Now let us see, there are the few examples of changes under physical data independence. Due to the physical independence, any of the below changes will not affect the conceptual layer. First one, when we are using a new storage device like hard drive or a magnetic tapes, so it will not affect the conceptual layer. What it is, hard drive and magnetic tapes will not affect the conceptual layer. The second one is when you are modifying the file organization techniques in the database. So once again, when we are modifying the file organization techniques, it will not affect the change at the conceptual layer. Switching to different data structures, once again it will not affect the change. Changing the access method, modifying the indexes, changes to compression techniques or hashing algorithms, changes of location of database from say C drives to D drive. So friends, these are the examples of changes under physical data independence. So due to the physical data independence, these are the things will not change and affect the conceptual level in the physical data independence. Now let us see what is logical data independence. The logical data independence is the ability to change the conceptual schema without changing external views and external API. Here API is a application programming interface or a programs. What is logical data independence? Logical data independence is the ability to change the conceptual schema without changing the external views or external APIs or programs. So this is what logical data independence. Any change made will be absorbed by the mapping between external and conceptual levels. When we are compared to the physical data independence, it is challenging to achieve logical data independence. So it is vice versa. In the physical data independence, we seen that if you want to achieve the physical data independence, it is very much easy as compared to logical data independence. So if you are talking about logical data independence, if you want to achieve the logical data independence, it is more complex than physical data independence. So this is what logical data independence of data abstraction. Now let us see, there are a few examples of changes under the logical data independence. Due to the logical data independence, any of the below change will not affect at the external layer. So when we are add or modify or delete a new attribute, entity or a relationship is possible without a rewrite of existing application program. So what it is? When you are add, modify or delete a new attribute, entity or a relationship is possible without a rewrite of existing application programs. When you are merging two records into one more case when there is example of change under logical data independence. Breaking an existing records into two or more records. So this is what one more change will not affect at the external layer in the logical data independence. Now let me explain the difference between logical data independence and physical data independence. In logical data independence is mainly concerned with the structure and changing the data definition, whereas in physical data independence it mainly concerned with the storage of the data. So the name suggests physical data independence. If it is physical, then it mainly concerned with the storage of the data. and here it concerned with the structure or a changing of the data definition. In logical data independence, it is difficult to retrieve of data is mainly dependent on the logical structure of the data, and it is easy to retrieve. So when we want to achieve the logical data independence, it is more complex than physical data independence. In case of physical data independence, it is very easy to retrieve as compared to logical data independence. In logical data independence, it is compared to physical independence is difficult to achieve logical data independence. As compared to logical independence, it is easy to achieve as compared to physical data independence. In logical data independence, when you need to make changes in the application program, if new fields are added and deleted from the database. What it is? When you need to make changes in the application program, if new fields are added or deleted from the database. So this is what possible in logical data independence. In case of physical data independence, a change in the physical level usually does not need the change at the application program level. So when we are talking about the physical data independent, there is no need of a change at the application program level. While in case of logical data independence, the modification at the logical level is significant whenever the logical structure of the database are changed. While in case of physical data independence, modifications are made at the internal levels may or may not be needed to improve the performance of the structure. It mainly concerned with the conceptual schema, and it mainly concerned with the internal schema. For example, when you are going to add, modify or delete a new attribute, it mainly concerned with the conceptual schema with related to logical data independence. While in case of physical data independence, it change in compression techniques, hashing algorithms, storage devices, etc. will relate to the physical data independence. So friends, this is what the difference between logical data independence and physical data independence of data abstraction. Now let us see the importance of data independence. It helps you to improve the quality of the data. So first importance is, when we want to improve the quality of data, we are going to use the data independence. Database system maintenance becomes affordable when we want to maintain our database in terms of affordability, so it is once again useful. Enforcement of the standards and improvement in database security. So when we need a security, we are using data independence. You do not need to alter data structure in application program. So that here they are talking about when we are using physical data independence, we are not going to change the structure of the data at the application level, that is physical data independence, but we are changing the data at the logical data independence level. It also permits the developer to focus on the general structure of the database rather than the worrying about the internal implementation. So this is one of the most important point of data independence, that is, it permits the developer to focus on general structure of the database rather than worrying about the internal implementation. So they are not worrying about the internal implementation of the data, they generally focus on general structure of the database. It allows you to improve the state which is undamaged and undivided. So it improves the state, two state, one is the undamaged or we can say undivided. The database incongruity is vastly reduced. And last one is, last importance that we can say, easily make the modification in the physical level is needed to improve the performance of the system. So when we want to change at the physical level, it is more easier than logical level independence. So these are the few importance of data independence. Now let us summarize the data independence. The data independence is a property of DBMS that helps you to change the database schema at one level of the database system without requiring to change the schema at the next higher level. So this is for data independence. We see in the two levels of data independence, one is the physical and another one is the logical. We also see in the difference between these two. Physical data independence helps you to separate the conceptual level from the internal or physical level, whereas logical level or logical data independence is the ability to change the conceptual schema without changing another level. When compared to the physical data independence, it is challenging to achieve logical data independence. The data independence helps you to improve the quality of data. So friends, these are the few summaries of this data independence topic. So friends, let us see today's lecture at a glance, or we can say till now what we have covered in this video lecture. We have seen the two major topics. One is the data abstraction, another one is the data independence. In data abstraction, we studied internal level or internal schema, conceptual level or conceptual schema, physical level or a physical schema. In data independence, we have seen the logical data independence and physical data independence. Also, we have seen the difference between logical data independence and physical data independence. In the data abstraction, we have also seen the real example of university database for a data abstraction. We have explained the types of schema that we are talking about, internal level schema, or we can say internal schema, conceptual schema, and physical schema. So this is what we have covered in this video lecture, that is data abstraction and data independence. Thank you all.